Hey, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whenever you're watching this. I'm Robin Da Vinci, and I'm back with more tips about getting through your teens and 20s to make your 30s a much better place. So many young adults F up their 20s because they think it won't matter. And the fact is that it matters every time. And I just don't want to be one of those people that stand by and say, well, no one helped me in my 20s, so I'm not going to help them. No, no one did help me in my 20s. I had to figure it out all by myself, and I had to get that advice from lots of smart people in order to pass this on to you for basically free. This is going to help you. So I don't care what anybody says. I'm going to help you. Okay. So listen up, you guys in your 20s. You can save, you can money manage, you can have fun, you can thrive. You just got to do a few things. You have to discipline yourself in a few areas. And I'm going to go over them now. So, number 1, if you have a job where it's a W 2 job where they take taxes out of your check, do a direct deposit to both your checking and savings. I don't care if it's $20 every 2 weeks, twice a month, once a month. Make sure money goes to your savings that you don't touch. Learn to live without that 20 bucks or 50 bucks that you put there. I guarantee you it will feel good. So that doesn't mean that then you go to the ATM and pull the money out of your savings. You make the money in your savings untouchable. I don't get it. I don't touch it. And you let it grow for an emergency, for a fun trip, for later. But it's not to be used regularly. It is something that is put there, like for a rainy day or a fun day or both. That's what it's for. So you have the option to ask your boss or tell your boss you would like to split your net check into savings and checking. Now, most people have to have a deposit account. So if you don't have a savings account, get one. It's really important to think in terms of having extra money later. Really important on the psyche. Next, make your ATM visits not random. Do not randomly just keep going to an ATM and taking cash out. Plan your ATM visits. Say every other Thursday, I'm going to take out some cash, or once a week on Friday, I'm going to take out some cash. But for whatever your purpose is, don't keep going to the ATM and taking out cash. It's always tempting to take more than you need, and then you'll spend it. So if you want to keep some money in your pocket or in your savings account, the best way to do it is to plan it out. Your direct deposit that goes directly to your savings, your planned trips to the ATM with an amount, specific amount. Don't take 100 if you only need 60. And the temptation is, well, there's an ATM at every corner, especially for a few of the banks, and you know which banks I'm talking about. Some of the banks have much less access to ATMs, and if you use their bank because your branches are less, they charge you. You want to watch the charges that you incur for your account. So it's way smarter to plan your ATM visits and put money in your savings account with every single paycheck. Learn to live without that. Okay. Next, don't have a bunch of credit cards. Don't have your credit cards on websites. Don't have your credit cards paying for bills if you can't pay it off at the end of the month. One of the problems with credit cards when we put like our auto insurance and our car payment and everything on a credit card is at the end of the month, you have spent money and then you're not able to pay it off. Have those certain items debit directly from your checking account and plan for them. When you put them on the credit card and then you put your spending on a credit card, your credit card bill is too high at the end of the month to pay off. Then you're paying interest on the unpaid balance, and then you're adding to the balance, and then you're paying interest on the old balance plus the new balance. That's a really bad habit to get into. Sit down and figure out what can come out of your checking account that doesn't accumulate interest, and the very few things that you might want on your checking account and then on your credit card. And then you can pay off your credit card at the end of the month. You have to plan for that. Don't keep letting your credit card add up and add up and add up until you say, oh my God, it's maxed out, or oh my goodness, what did I do? So there is a real issue here using credit cards to pay your bills and then using all the underlying money to have fun. You can't do that. I know you want to in your 20s, but I'm telling you it's a mistake. Big mistake. Next thing, eat at home. And that doesn't mean sit in your house and get takeout. That means learn to cook simple meals. Bring food into your house from a grocery store or a outdoor market and cook your food. And then cook enough to take to lunch the next day or eat in another meal, or freeze it if you make soup. You guys, you can do this. I know it sounds old fashioned, but I will tell you, most of the people when we were in our 20s didn't have money to spend and go out. We had gotten married young, we had children, and we were trying our best to have Christmas and have layaway and all of that stuff. I know it was a different time back then, but one thing hasn't changed. Restaurants are more expensive than eating at home. That doesn't mean you never eat out or you don't ever get a takeout, but you eat more meals that you cook than you spend out. You'll not only not put on as much weight because it's so easy to with food you don't know about, and you know what the ingredients are, and they're always highly salted. Anything that you get that is pre-made or already made at a restaurant is almost always too much salt. So eat in. Next thing, plan your shopping, whether it's grocery shopping, clothes shopping, electronic shopping. Plan it out and rate it. Do you need it? If you don't need it, put a 1 on it. If it's impossible to live without it, put a 10 on it. But do not just randomly shop. Random shopping is one of the things that gets you into trouble. So listen, you've already put your bills. Let's say you put your cable bill and your utilities on your credit card. And so that bill comes at the end of the month, plus the shopping you've done online. And you go, oh my God, I did $1,300 last month. I don't have $1,300 to pay off that credit card because I spent all the money thinking I had money. No, you didn't. That is the mentality of youth. And I applaud you guys. You guys are smart and funny and are going to be the leaders of the world and all of that. But you can't do it if you're mired in money crap. You really can't. And all of that comes down to your credit score. So let's say you fool around with your money and you do a bad job and you've got a low credit score. And in your 20s, you're going, what does that matter? That doesn't matter. I got out of college, my credit score was 535 or, 610. What does that matter? Oh, it'll matter. It'll matter when you go to get a car and the interest rate. It'll matter if you want to buy a condo or a house, when you find a spouse or a partner that you want to purchase things with. Your credit score is going to bring you down and it's going to make you unlendable. So you don't want to get out of your 20s as an unlendable person. And it's really hard. It doesn't take much to get the credit score to drop, but it's really hard to build it back up. So I'm telling you stuff that, honest to goodness, will help you in your life. If you listen to even 3 of my tips, you will be better off. But if you took all those tips and incorporated into your life, your 20s are going to be badass. They really are. They're going to be cooler than you ever thought, because you're going to say to yourself, I know the discipline. Now, I tell you, I know people that spend, and they don't care what I say. And it's a mistake. You cannot spend when you don't have millions of dollars. And even when you have millions of dollars, you shouldn't be spending. It's just the way it is, guys. So I'm going to recap. Always direct deposit some money to your savings, even if it's $10, $15, $25. Direct deposit to your checking and have some go to savings that you don't touch, right? Plan your ATM visits. Do not take more than you need. Don't get 200 when you only need 80. Get 80. That leaves 120 there in case you need it the next time after you're paid. Credit cards. Don't put everything on a credit card if you can't pay it at the end of the month, because what you're doing is you're paying interest on an unpaid balance plus interest on your new balance, and you're just paying and paying and paying. And unless you have an incredible credit card interest rate, which most people don't, it's usually 12% up to 29%, you are paying way too much for your money or for someone to take your money and you not pay it off. It's really a mistake. I can't tell you not to use your credit card, but you have to use it in a way that you can pay it off at the end of the month. Otherwise, you're screwing yourself. Eat at home. I said it, I mean it, eat at home. Make meals. Buy a roasting chicken, have baked potato. You can buy 5 pounds potatoes, bake them, use them for different meals. Get lettuce and tomato, salads, macaroni and cheese, pasta dishes with mushroom and onion. I mean, there are meals you can eat at home. It'll be better for you and you won't spend the money. If you plan your grocery shopping and say, I can afford this much for groceries, research it a little bit. Come on, you're in your 20s. You guys are smarter than anybody else has ever been. You guys are computer savvy, tech savvy, social media savvy. You're so damn savvy, we can't keep up with you. Do the right thing. Eat at home. And then plan your shopping. Got it? Plan your shopping. Don't randomly shop. Don't impulse shop. Impulse shopping screws everybody over. And then make sure at the end of the day that everything that has a due date where you can get a late fee or it will go on your credit score is paid on time. Schedule your payments. Look at them. Budget your money and get those payments made. Anything that has a late fee, anything that can be canceled because you didn't pay it, those are what should be paid, debited from your checking account. Never miss a payment for auto insurance, medical insurance, any of those things, your cable bill. Those things need to be paid on time, and they all report to credit companies. I don't think you understand that. They all report. You get a late fee, and it goes on your report. And you can't undo it. If you're a person that looks like you don't pay on time, you're not going to get anybody to lend you money for a car or a house. They might lend you money for a car because that's collateral. They can take your car back if you don't pay, but they will have a higher interest rate. So you kind of have to keep track of that. So it's really important that you do those things. I know this is kind of a somber video, and I'd love to be fun and dancing around and doing a TikTok version of some song I loved from the 60s. But since I'm not, and I'm talking about something very serious, I'm making you be very, very serious at the same time. So you've got the tips. They all work. You can do at least a couple of them, and you will be better off. I mean it. I care about you guys. I care about people in their 20s a lot. I raise children. I understand the mistakes. You have to make this work. So like and subscribe. Go to robindavinci.com. Check me out on LinkedIn if you don't know that I'm real. You can figure out who I am by following the trail of social media. I am real, and I have good advice. And I've been a bookkeeper accountant for more years than I can imagine, but I've been in business 37 years without bankruptcies, without anything. So I know what I'm talking about. Thank you very much. Join my channel. Bye.